this morning we are talking about tips to help you reduce your sugar intake. Alrighty, so usually one of the first things people, if someone's goal is to lose weight, one of the first things that we do and we look at is to actually say, I'm going to cut out all, chocolate intake, all, the junk that I eat, lollies, cakes, biscuits, etc., etc. So common theme there, all of these products include or contain added sugars, alrighty? So they can become very addictive, and it's quite common to become addicted to these products without even actually realizing that you are addicted to them, alrighty? So don't, in no space, feel bad about it or anything like that. These products are marketed to and designed and made to become addictive, alrighty? The texture that it feels within your mouth, the taste, it all leads you to want to go back and have more and more and more. That's how they're made. Alrighty. So I guess in that space, it's actually up to us to then realize that this is something that I'm, consuming a lot of, or that, I can't do without, or I find that I'm reaching for it even though I may not need to reach for it. And actually ask yourself, is this serving me in this space? And also consider some of the side effects that you may actually be getting due to your intake of these products, like, extra headaches. Or do you always have a headache? Are you quite moody? Is your gut inflamed? Do you have gut health problems? Are your joints inflamed and getting sore joints in regards to your gut health, bloating? And just not feeling good. If you're getting skin rashes, that's got something to do with your gut health in that sense. So, and an overconsumption of this product sugar. And when I talk about sugar in this space, this is, and I want to make this super clear, this is added sugars. So the refined, the processed sugars that are added to our foods. Alrighty, because we can't take away the natural sugars that are, naturally within a food or naturally within a product. I won't say product, because a product as such will always have added sugars, but a whole food, an actual food source, such as, fruit or vegetables, they are natural sugars. Which are okay in that sense. I mean, our body will still treat sugar the exact same way, whether it's an added sugar or a natural sugar. However, with the natural sugars, so fruit would, I guess, be a big one here. It's got a lot of fiber in it, and you're getting the vitamins and the minerals and the micronutrients from that product, or from that food, that actually then can counter the sugar intake in that space, alrighty, because you are getting a lot of benefits from it as well. Alrighty, so when I talk about reducing your sugar intake, I'm talking about the added sugars, so the refined and the processed sugars. Alrighty, so one of the ways that I look at this, and actually, it helps me then to reduce my sugar intake, is actually being able to read food labels properly. Alrighty, so don't take this for granted, in the sense, like, people might think, I don't need to know that, or, that's pretty easy. But do you actually know how to read a food label properly? Do you actually know what is in your food? Alrighty, so I've just grabbed a couple of products that I've got in my cupboard and my fridge. And I don't want to make this video all around food labels as such, but I'm just going to, point out a couple of things here, because there can be a lot of hidden sugars within your ingredient list that you're not actually aware of in that sense. So first product here is a Chobani Greek yogurt, so a plain flavor. Now I actually then just scan down on the side here and look to where it says sugars, and then actually look at the average 100 gram column there. So for this particular product, we've got 3.3 grams of sugar in every 100 grams of that product. So that's quite good. So anything, I would say what you're looking at is around like anything more than 10 grams of sugar per 100 grams is a lot. Alrighty, so you definitely don't want to be consuming a lot of product with more than that. However, I would make that your absolute maximum in that sense. Around 6 grams, that's what I usually aim for. So I try not to add too many more foods that are higher than 6 grams per 100 grams of sugar. Now, my other product that I want to then show you as well is, this is found in the health foods aisle. And I actually really like this product. It's great for snacks because I do have a sweet tooth. And looking at the sugar content here, there's actually 11.4 grams of sugar per 100 grams. So it is higher in sugar in that sense. And it's because on the ingredient list, there's rice malt and there's cane sugar. Alrighty, so 2, I guess, hidden ingredients as such, if you were... Well, definitely the rice malt, obviously cane sugar, it has sugar in the ingredient list. However, rice malt, a lot of people might not realize that there's quite a bit of sugar in rice malt as such. Alrighty, so just be aware and learn how to actually read your food labels and actually read them carefully. Okay, so it's about being educated in that sense. Alrighty, and I might actually do a video around reading food labels because that's a whole new topic within itself. Alrighty, so my next tip then in regards to actually reducing your sugar intake is actually don't rely or try not to rely on, so if you're adding sugar to your coffee, let's say, for example, and then you think to yourself, oh, I'm going to add a natural sugar or a sweetener to that. So I'm going to replace the sugar with a sweetener or a natural alternative. Honey, brown rice syrup, rice malt syrup, coconut sugar, they're all exactly the same product and they have around the same amount of sugar as normal, or your table sugar as such. Alrighty, so try and avoid actually relying on more natural sources, thinking that you're not getting the sugar content that a table sugar would actually give you, because you are. Alrighty, so that kind of goes hand in hand with the hidden sugars as such, because a lot of the time we don't realize that those more natural products still hold quite a bit of sugar in that space. Alrighty, so they're 2 of my top tips there that aren't always as obvious as the just reduce your teaspoon of sugar within your coffee. By all means, that will most definitely help. However, those 2 I think are pretty prominent and ones that you wouldn't usually think of to actually be aware of. Alrighty. Now, another, I guess, really important thing I want to actually say is, because you can and you probably are actually addicted to the sugar in that sense, if you decide to just go cold turkey and cut sugar completely out of your diet, as in the added sugars, you will actually struggle with that, and it can be quite challenging. And I say that in the sense of, because I've tried it before and I struggled with it. So instead of going cold turkey straight away, just look at reducing your intake. Alrighty, so for example, if you're someone that has 2 teaspoons of sugar within your coffee, let's drop it to 1.5 for a week. And then the next week, look at dropping it to then 1. So slowly ease your way out of that in that sense. And it's going to be a lot more of a sustainable journey for you in that sense. And it's more consistent, as opposed to I'm going cold turkey, I'm cutting all of it out. Cutting it all out for, let's say, a week because you've been really good, but then willpower, wears you down because you're having withdrawal symptoms, and then you just go and end up binge eating on a whole heap of sugary products. Alrighty, so treat yourself nicely and kindly in that space and just work on reducing it one step at a time. So a small amount and a small amount and a small amount. Alrighty, so they're the main tips I wanted to say today. And another one I'm just going to throw in here is, if you focus or look at focusing your eating habits or your eating routine, your daily eating routine around whole foods. So try and cut down as much as you can or reduce your intake of packaged and processed foods, because anything in a package as such is going to have those added extra sugars added in. Alrighty, so your whole foods, so think of a whole food source such as an orange, for example, as opposed to orange juice. So you're getting the fruit, the natural sugars from the orange, the sweetness, the nutrients, the fiber, all coming in the form of an orange, compared to then the orange juice, which has been highly processed to be able to be kept in the bottle, because they need to do that to actually prolong the life of that product. So there's a lot of added nasties in there that you may not be aware of. So that's where being able to read your food labels comes in super handy in that space, and actually being aware around what they mean. Alrighty guys, so then it's just I've got heaps and heaps of tips in regards to actually reducing your sugar intake, but they're some of the top tips that I really believe will help you and that you'll find beneficial and valuable if you work on doing those in a consistent manner. Alrighty, if you're needing any extra personalized help depending on your own situation, please reach out. I'm here to help, and I would love to help you. Otherwise, I really hope you have the best day. Happy Thursday. If you're listening, please send me a thumbs up, and if you like what you hear, I would love you to send me a heart. It just allows my video then to go further out. So the further reach, so it can help more people. Alrighty guys, remember, the best project you'll ever work on is you. See ya.